Alrighty, Doc here from North America, and I think that we are. It's Friday, TGIF, and we are just spinning against all kinds of wild directions this morning. It's interesting to see the debate. They're trying to pass a budget. It's like, you know what? Don't pass a budget. It's only 13 days. What's the difference? If tonight there's no budget, everybody still gets their money, and it's America. They just make sure people get their Social Security, they all get their Medicare, the military gets its money. It's all there. Either way, it doesn't matter. And so making these artificial deadlines seem to make no sense, but you can see it's having an effect on the marketplace. And at the same time, what the influences, you can see it in the cryptos this morning, which seems odd, when you really think about it. Let's get the crypto up on the screen. Really seems odd, the dollar index itself, the dollar index is down. Okay, that makes sense. And at the same time, the cryptos are down, which you would think when there's a weak dollar, should be a strong crypto. And it seems like they're marching together, which just shows you the influence of things. Here's the Bitcoin Cash. As the markets have been falling for a few days, so has the Bitcoin. It's come down from was that 10,006 was it 100,647, right? It's come down from that down to just in the last 48 hours down to 92,000. So it's dropped $14,000. What's that, about 11% drop, something like that, going on 12% drop. You can see the weekly there pressing down. Oh, are we seeing that? Oh, no. Let's transfer over again. There we go. And you see there, dropping down, just like the dollar index is dropping down. It's like, what? And I thought this is the alternative. Remember, this is the alternative from central banks, and somehow or another it's joining in with central bank fund, play. In other words, it's absurdity. So right now the Dow's only down 0.62, so it's not even down 1%. So I mean it's pretty dull. We have tax selling. I mentioned that. Oh, yesterday, that's one thing I've not heard on any of the financial channels for a while. It's been kind of quiet. They're not talking about tax selling. End of the year selling, they may say, which is tax selling. And so, matter of fact, that will probably be I meant to mention that yesterday and got lost on other crazies that were going on with the marketplace. I mean, that's pretty much the whole gist of it all at this point. So you can see here, there is the dollar. This is the British. This is Bitcoin Cash. It's a 7-day chart. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Let's see, where is it at? Let's take a look at Bitcoin Future. It reminds me of was it the ghost story? With Bob Cratchit and the old British story about Christmas and the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas now, and the ghost of Christmas future. Here you go. Here's Bitcoin there. Bitcoin in the future has been doing the same thing, breaking down and doing that same slide down. You see that's there. It's at 93. Was it 93,385? Trying to stay on top of the cash contract, and then we can see let's see what Ethereum is doing. I want to see another crypto that's very liquid. Ethereum right there. There's Ethereum. And Ethereum's come down from a high of 4,106 to now trading at 3,216. Now that's like a 20% drop. That's pretty impressive. That's definitely intimidating. Oh, let's get the chat line up. I didn't even do that this morning. I'm so amazed that we're watching them all join in their directions instead of the crypto being independent. Let's just sign into the chat line. I didn't even do that. I'm sorry. I'm sure someone has said hi this morning because I've been yakking for 7 minutes. Right there. And there is me. Oh, Robin says hi. That's good. GM to all. And there's Robin too. There we go. So yeah, it's a. Well, nope, don't want that. Let's see, we go like this. Skip. There it is. Yes, indeed. So GM to all. So that's the action we're seeing today, and we can see it also on the stock indices. The stock indices are having those same issues. Let's see, we have one open here. I know we have a future on there somewhere. And today is the expiration, too. So at the opening bell in New York, the stock indices open. Close. I'm sorry, they close at the opening. So there's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see all that pressure. We've been in a sell on that thing way back in here. It's the second week in a sell. So that pressure has been really, really, screaming out loud. And again, I think it's more of tax selling than anything else. But, let it fly. Let it fly. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Where did that go? Looking for something that just fell on the floor. Let's see if we can use a light on that. Where's the wallet? There it is. Alrighty. Oh, there it is. I see it. Something dropped off the desk. I just wanted to pick it up. There we go. So, what else is going on today? Let's take a look at, let's see, we saw the dollar index. Dollar index is going down, so we have to assume that we're starting to see some strength again in the currency pairs. I mean, it's bad enough that we see the Federal Reserve lower interest rates and the bond prices go down. In other words, the opposite of what they're supposed to do. So, we're definitely watching. We're in times where the markets are incredibly sloppy. They don't follow the normal patterns. Overall. And you can see here we've been trying to make everybody understand this. When the bond price, that's what this is, the price of the bond itself, goes down like that, market raises rates. And so this is the, in this case here, you can see, you can't see. Let's show you what we can see and what you can see. There it is. Right there. You can see it's trying to bounce up a little bit. Not as aggressive as the stock index. Let's go right over there again. That's the dollar index. Much stronger, leaping bigger. It's single bound. It leaps over tall buildings. That seems to be the nature of it all. There's the dollar index. And you can see it's been in a weekly buy for, shows there 6 weeks, or 5 weeks now for sure. What else can we say about that? Can't say much more, I guess you could say. So let's take a look at the cable. Let's see what the cable's doing today. Maybe cable. I keep on thinking they're trying to have elections. You can see there it went into the sell 2 days ago. I thought we had a red line there. There it is right there. And they've tried to get it back up yesterday and seemed to fail at it. Today it's trying to lift up, but it made a new low. So you can see that pressure on it. At the beginning of the week, we had touched the zero line. This was up in here on Monday. It was touching. It was trying to get into the buy compared to the euro, which was really sinking lower and lower. And you can see here it's fallen down. It was up much higher, like right around in there. And the green line was pushing up. And at most now is that it's just another week in a sell. waiting for next week. It's like next week's business, that type of thing. And then next week is really, we will have Monday and Tuesday markets, and then we're closed Wednesday, and then Thursday will be kind of slow, and then Friday, people start to move towards the tax situation even more. We might start to see end of the year buying. We'll see if that works out the way it normally does, and then we'll see that first week of January where it gets wild and woolly. So, all right, traders. From there, we'll shoot over to, since there's no real questions going on, and is there any wild stories today too? Have we seen any wild economic stories? In Zero Hedge, since it's Friday, I like to try to come up with some stuff. It says, "'Tis the season to strike." Starbucks and bistros hit picket line and multi-state labor action. How about that? Let's see. Murder hornets eradicated in U.S. after 5 years. How about that? No, we're not seeing any. We're not really seeing anything particular. There's a good one. Chinese agent pleads guilty to operating secret police station in New York. A secret police station? What are you doing? Arresting Chinese people and dragging them home? I don't know. Which U.S. companies receive most government subsidies? That's a good one right there. Which ones? Boeing gets $15 billion. I don't know how it's a subsidy. I guess I'd have to read the story there. But nothing seems to be jumping out fun-wise. I don't see any fun stories. Let's see, what else we got going on here? It says here, stocks continue slide in quad witching. That's this morning. In literally 1 hour and 45 minutes, we have quad witching. We start the quad witching. The futures, the stock index futures will expire right at the bell of the opening, not the close. Then there'll be options too will expire, and then from there we end up with another situation at the end of the day, just like it. Let's see. No, I don't see any entertaining stories whatsoever. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Now, there was a story this morning. I'm not really seeing it. Is that poor Joe Biden has been somewhat out of sync for 4 years. I say now. I don't know why they're telling the truth now, but New York Times and so forth says that Joe Biden has not really been governing for the last 4 years. I guess they want to blame somebody else. I don't know. Strange but true. Strange but true. All right, let's go to the next currency. We'll go to Swiss. You see the Swiss is bouncing off the top end of the range, gaining against the dollar, but still a daily buy on the algorithm and a weekly buy. Maybe next week. Hard to say. A little weaker dollar. Not sure if that raises the stock market up or knocks it down. It's so hard to say anymore. Because a lot of these things just don't happen anymore like they used to. And then from there, we slide over to the yen. There's the yen. The yen's at the top end of the box. It's battling with this stuff right here. We'll see if they try to roll it over. You see, it's been in a daily buy for a bunch of days. Let's see. Let's get that up on this. Go to the spreadsheet clear. You can see there's the. Where's it at? Right there it is. You can see there the dollar yen situation slid into a weekly sell. Oh, we went into a weekly buy last week, and it's 13 days in a daily buy. So it's been in a buy. Now this is the 14th day. Almost 3 full weeks of trading because it's only 5 days a week. So yeah, that's wild. 14 days in a buy. And last week it jumped into the buy. This is going on a second week. So it's just been pressing and screaming that it wants to go up, 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 and away. It doesn't seem to want to let go. All right, and then we go to the Great Experiment. There's the Great Experiment right there, trying to lift up. I guess that's because it's a strong euro this morning. With a strong euro, it doesn't really let go. In other words, it's not that Turkey is getting more organized or less. It's just that the euro is weaker than normal. I think that's what it comes down to. So it's not the best of times when it comes to looking at the Turkish lira against any of the major currencies. They all seem to have an issue there. So now I guess what we'll do is we'll go down to South Africa and take a look at the metals complex. Oh, one other thing too. You see down here at the bottom, you can see, let me get the mouse for that. Where's the mouse? See that down here? The weekly is trying to get closer to the zero line. You see that? It's trying. It's working hard. We'll see what next week brings. Again, I really do think it's more of a weak euro than it is a strong Turkish lira. And you can see that when we go and look at let's take a look at the pairs trade between the euro and the GBP. And you see here the euro has lifted up. It's you see it came down. I'm not sure what this line was, but in the end result, as you can see, since we went into the weekly sell up in here at 83.80, it has traveled no more than a day ago to 82.20. So, no doubt that's a weaker overall euro. And today and yesterday, what a nice big move, from all this. But we went into the buy for that. You can see that the weekly buy last week, it had been in a weekly sell for 5 weeks, and now we're flirting again with the sell. So I have to assume that we're going to still see some weak euro action going into the new year. Overall against other pairs trades. Maybe not the dollar as much, but the others, I would believe. We'll see. We'll watch it. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's see that. That's now. It's time to go to South Africa and take a look at the. You see, and again, a lot of this too. Not a lot of times. This time of the year, countries, central banks are more of a corporate entity nowadays. They're like a company, and so the countries themselves act like a corporation, and so you have end of the year adjustments, and that's what we've been seeing for the last, since quantitative easing kicked out. We see a lot more activity between the Federal Reserve and individual central banks around the world. And we're not really seeing that the last year or so. I guess last year we saw it, but we have not seen a lot of action this year at all, going from the end of November into now the end of December, because this is going to be next week is going to be the last full week of December. And so here we are at the 20th. We got 11 days left, and and so that really shows. Yeah, so that really shows that what is it? Tuesday? Tuesday is the last day of the month. A week from now, right there, the 31st. And so you can see here's the 20th. So we have all this week. That's the last of it. And it interrupted by the 24th, or say 25th, Christmas Day. And so that the markets are closed for that, half a day here. So it goes into a real slow slide, And then we get Monday and Tuesday. And then there's the New Year's. And then we start the market again there. So, and then Congress comes into session right here. The new Congress will be in there. So, in other words, if they shut down tonight, it's almost like non-event. Let it happen, and let them just refigure it out in, 12 days, 13 days. Everybody's going to get their Social Security. Everybody's going to get their military pay. They're all going to get it all. So, no problems there. All right. So, from there, where do we go from there? we go to the metals complex, because there's South African rand making new highs. It's like a 3-month high or something like that, 4-month high. When's the last time we were up here? Not since the elections, I guess. Something like that. Let's see. Do we have the election even written down on there? I think so. We have we had that big triangle developing. And so South Africa has now been under a new government, since the creation of the ANC and Nelson Mandela. We're finally seeing a coalition government that's functioning much better than anything else, let's say. We'll find out as time goes on. Obviously, the currency has been in this upwardly slope, so that's not the most positive thing like that, the overall trend here. And I guess we can go like this with the box. You see it's an upwardly slope, and every time we try a downwardly slope, it makes higher lows, so that's not a good thing. That's what we're saying. They need to actually perform, not just have a coalition government, but they have to perform to make life better for the population who voted for a coalition government. All right, and then from there, what do we got? So let's go take a look at oh, there you go. Abdul, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to you too. Let's take a look at gold. There it is. Gold, trying to lift up a little bit from yesterday, at flirting with the buy. You can see that right there. It came off the lows, so we're starting to see a little buy action kick out right there. We'll see if it holds by the end of the day or if it goes sideways. Oh, I like those memes. I think that's cute. And let's see, what else we got here? Let's see, the weekly's trying to kick in. It's getting very close. We're going to get into a buy, it looks like. So that is the action we're seeing today. Save the workspace like that. So I thought I put it in there before. And so South African rand is going up, so that would make sense that we see gold come off the 2750 area and play with the 2600 area. That seems to be the logical thing for me. Now let's go take a look at silver. Silver, same story, but a little bit harsher. We're almost flirting with yesterday's lows. You can see the weekly is not even remotely acting like it cares. It's basically down, 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 down. And so silver's, having that issue with the $30 area. There's the last time we did that bouncy bounce thing around the $30 area. You see as we contract it, got up to 34, fell down to 27 and change, 28, roared back up to almost 35. Was that 35? Right there, 35, 35.51. Fell back down to the 30s, bounced on that again twice, lifted back up, made a lower high, broke the low here 3 days ago, and is feeling the pressure again. And I guess they may go after this 27.5 area again. Maybe that's the next stop for them. All right. Okay. There we go. There is, that was gold. Let's go take a look at copper. Copper, right on the edge. It's trying to climb into a buy as we speak. Let's put that on there like that. This morning it was pushing lower. Now it's trying to lift a little bit. But notice the weekly is right on the edge. Right on that edge, just inches away. Battling the issue of, can we see a market, get going? I guess we should go and let's do this. Let's go take a look at China. I always like when I look at copper, I have to go look at Shanghai and see what they're up to. So let's see what Shanghai's doing today. Let's see what they did. Looks like just sideways down for the last few days. So kind of matching up to the copper contract itself. Matter of fact, when you go back and forth, they look a lot alike. That with copper. this with the indice. Has that same type of trend. Uh, Stellar. Kindly see Stellar. What is Stellar? Is that a crypto? Uh, let's see. Let's find Stellar. See if we can find it. Let's go to there and hunt down Stellar for you. Stellar product. Let's see if we can find Stellar. Stellar ST. Also L'Oreal. Okay, sure. Let's see, Stellar STELLER. Fram Capital Stellar. Stellar Private. Bitcoin. Hard to say. Is it Fram Capital Stellar? I'm going to show it to you. Tell me if that looks like what we're talking about here. There doesn't seem to be any data for that. Let's see L'Oreal. I see this is what I see when it comes to finding Stellar. It says Fram Capital Stellar Fondo. It's at $306,970, down $40 for the day. But the charts are not really doing too good a job at that. Let's see. Let's see a 5-year. Is that what you're talking about? And while we're looking at that, let's see if we can find L'Oreal. L'Oreal sounds a little bit easier. I recognize that. Let's see. L'Oreal. L. Is that comma? Let's see. I hear it. It's one of those. Let's see. Where is it at? We find that symbol. Is that it? Maybe not. Backspace. That. There we go. ORREAL. Oh, there's a bunch of those. Look at that. There's L'Oreal. Does that make sense? The 336. Let's take a copy of that. All right. Let's go over to here again. Just slide it in. We will slide that into the system. There we are. Paste. And copy. Paste. Create product. All right, now let's see if we can get that up on the screen. There we go. All right, here we go. Now you'll be able to see it. There's L'Oreal. It's been in a weekly buy for the last 3 weeks, so that kind of makes sense. And went into the buy down in here somewhere. The algorithm's been in a buy. Wow, look at the algorithm. It's pretty much in a long buy. It's all the way back. Really started at all those buys. Was it? Let's give it a refresh. Where's that refresh at? So you see back in here on November 21st. And what is that? That's November 21st. Okay, so you see it goes into the buy on November 21st right here. And I think it stays in the buy. Let's see, what's that? That is the 27th. So it's still in the buy there. Still in the buy there. Now, see, there's the minus one, so it's still in the buy. So now let's see what happens here. That's the 3rd. Where's December 3rd? Yeah. Still in the buy throughout this whole thing, even with the red dots. It's still in the buy. Is that a minus? Nope, that's still a buy too. So it went into the buy here, daily wise, and today it's trying to get into the daily sell for the first time. We'll see if it happens. But right there, so we've been in a daily buy since right here. The red dots kicked out, but we didn't have a negative, histogram the day before. But no, so it went right back into the buy. That was a plus there on the 28th. So it's been in a buy since here. Digested a few times, but overall it never put you into sell. And the weekly buy started on the 6th of December. So it wasn't until the close of this week that you could be long for that whole move. Basically from the 330, 322, let's say 323 area. Something like that. Somewhere's in here you could be long. And so it went from 333.5 all the way up to 349, 352. What was that one? 33 versus 52. Is that right? 345 versus 333, yeah. And it's been long throughout all that. But that's been the high right there. And now today they are flirting with that, the daily sell. We'll see if that holds on. How's that? 336? Cool. Excellent. That's what's so nice, with the platform. You can go like this. You can expand it, take a look at it closer, see each price, compare it to this, the algorithm itself. You can see if it's plus like it was there, where when it was minus here it was a green dot, then here it was a red dot, so you had to be long from this. But at the same time, depending on how you play the long, if you're just long the stock versus being long the option spreads, so forth and so on. So that's what this algorithm, this is what the platform brings you. Brings you all those opportunities. All right. L'Oreal. Cool. Let's go for tea. It's been 35 minutes I've been talking. Alrighty. Where do we go from there? Oh, I know what it was. We just got done looking at copper. And then we looked at China. So what do? We go to platinum. You see platinum playing with the sell for a second day. Still in a weekly sell. Trapped in this, I don't know. What is it? 960 to 920 area, basically. Not much really. What else can we say about it? I guess that's about the action we see when it comes to the metals. We are fascinated by the way copper marches along. This was the election right there. Oh, you can't see that. Let's just show you again. Because it does amaze me, how much copper and the Chinese market follow each other. So there was the election, and they slammed down the copper even more. Whereas on the beta, let's put the Chinese market, or the Hong Kong. Let's put Hong Kong up there this time. Let's see how Hong Kong or the Hang Seng has been doing in that same time period. It's always interesting to see, products that match up with each other, and that they have influence, and it's always interesting to see the influence. And so you can see there. So this was, what was that? That was, I guess the election. The election is right there. That's the election, okay? And there's that top. Now let's go take a look at the Hang Seng. And that was at the end of September going into October, right? Yeah. So let's see what that is. And there it is right there doing that same thing. That top here. and you see it, and it goes like that and then falls down. It looks just like copper. Let me just show you the copper again. They look so much alike. I guess what you could do is go like this, widen that even more. But that, so in other words, there's your September, there's your October. That spike in September 30th. And so then we go over here, and you can see, I guess that would be, that's the spike. Isn't that interesting? It still ran for another 4 days, then topped out and rolled over on the, what is that? That's the 7th. So it went one more week up and then rolled over. I always find that fascinating. All right, from there, no, we want to go from there. We want to go to the energy sector. So let's go over to the energy sector. Let's see. Let's take a look at Brent. There it is right there. You see it's been marching down 4 days in a sell, still pushing down. It challenged the 71.97 this morning. But we're in 3 weeks of buy still. So they really cannot get this thing to roll over. We'll see. End of the year, I don't know what it is, but it's down off of its highs of 82 back in, and that's interesting. And that's how does that work? How does it go from July to that? I don't understand how that's doing it, but that's October. There's September, right there. So that same top, which is interesting, is oil, like copper, like the Chinese markets, all did that rollover thing. They're not taking out these lows yet, like the way copper has, though. Whereas we just showed to you. You see copper took out those lows. Right in here, took it there. Played with it again 2 days, yesterday. They're at about close to each other, I guess you could say, in the sense of what action they do. Let's take a look at West Texas February crude oil. Oh, that's what we got to do, is we got to fix that. We didn't fix that. There it is right there. Let's copy that. Okay, let's go back to that. Copy. And then we'll leave you on the silver so it doesn't torture you. Okay, let's see. Products. Add a product. Let's go like that. Paste. We want G now. G. And then it's crude. Fab. And create. All right. And we can get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Now let's see if we can find the crude. Must be down at the bottom or something like that. There it is. And here you can see it now too. You see that same slide going on. You see that topping, which is very interesting. Just like Hong Kong, it ran up a little bit more than fell. It does say something about the idea that we always look at copper, but we don't really always look at the oil when we're looking at China. You see here, it's way off its lows right there. It's in a daily sell for a few days now, and it went into the sell last week like that, back into the buy this week, and we'll see if it's next week's business again where they try to slide it down. So we're in daily sells and a weekly buy, which is a neutral position for the average long short. If you're hedging, then you use, if you're hedging a portfolio or, production or something like that, then you do something different. Basically, that's what it comes down to. You're not just playing naked long short. That's what it really comes down to. Interesting, interesting. All right. Now from there, we shoot over to the heating oil or the kerosene or the diesel, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. And you can see it's been in a daily buy. Actually, it's been in a daily sell since there. And today it's trying to get into the buy as we speak with a green dot. And we're in a weekly buy at the same time. So maybe it's trying to interpret the cooler weather we're seeing. I think we got some snow coming in the mid parts of the East Coast here, things like that. It is that time of the year. We're coming to the darkest day of the year. I think this week, the afternoons, the sunsets start to go in reverse now. So I think we pick up a minute on the sunrise. Sunsets. We pick up a minute on the sunset today. And so, in other words, it's set last week at 4:18 Eastern Standard Time, and now today I believe it sets at 4:19. But the sunrises are still dropping, so our sunrises are still late. All right, and obviously this is the kerosene / diesel / heating oil. It's everything there. See how it plays next week. And then from there, we shoot over to nat gas, which is rocketing. It is definitely rocketing. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. There is the natural gas. And you can see it's at the highs of the last 6 months. And you see it's after 2 weeks in a sell with this selling going on. It's now leaped up and it's in the buy. Went into the buy there on the 11th. So it was in a buy there for a little bit, but it was still in a weekly sell. And then it dropped back into it dropped into a sell on the 13th and made money again. Then on the 17th it jumped into the daily buy. And we've been through the weekly buy throughout that whole adventure. And that's natural gas. So from there, yesterday when we went to the Spanish energy company to look and see ENG.MC, we saw that thing challenging lows, which was interesting. There it is right there, ENG.MC. And it's trying to lift up a little bit today. Just make it a little bit larger for you to see. You see it's gapped down a little bit. Now it's just minus a little bit, and it's made another new low of 1181, basically 1182. Yesterday's low was 1183. Very tight. You're talking about when you see this high here, you're looking at $13 or €13 and basically 60 cents. You can see it's fallen down to. You can see it has fallen down to. Good morning. Say hello to the world.
Oh, hello, world. How is the world?
There's the world. It's happy. So, what we got is the energy company in Spain is sitting there trying to lift up, but we're not seeing the strength. We're not seeing that strength as much, and you can see here in the algorithm, the daily algorithm, and then you can see the weekly too, still on the sell. See the pressure pushing down. So, let's see. From there, we jump over to world indices itself. I'll give you yell back in about 12 minutes. Unless you want to listen, I'll just leave the phone on.
I'm listening.
Excellent. There you go. And so from the we've seen what Shanghai and Hong Kong have looked like. Let's go over to Tokyo and see what they're doing. As we saw the currency itself trying to top out. And you can see there's Hong Kong. I'm sorry, there's Tokyo. Tokyo breaking down again, lifted up off the opening and is just sitting there. Still a third week in a weekly buy, so there's strength overall. But you can see the daily has been rolling along as it's a neutral position because since December 5th, it's been in a sideways market there and in a sell. You can see it right there. Just emphasize it like that. Even that little plus was a red dot, so it kept us in the sell now for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the 12th day in the daily sell. And it's come down, not a lot. Tokyo's come down from 39,300, or 39,632 down to 38,355. So just 1,000 points out of a $39,000 index. I'd say that's just background noise. From there, we'll slide over to, let's go see what the chip manufacturers are doing in Taiwan. And take a look at the Taipei index. There it is right there. You see, they've kind of trapped in that long sideways basing, I guess you could say. That looks like here's your support. There seems to be your resistance up in here. And this morning they're taking them down pretty decent. Or I guess for them now it's this evening. They took them down for today. And so you can see it's been a nice little sell-off. We've been in a daily sell for, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days. Jumped into a daily buy yesterday, but we're in weekly sell for the last 2 weeks, so it's a neutral position for this last sliding part. But overall, it's just been a slow, steady burn on the downside. From there, we'll go to the Kospi in South Korea, in Seoul. Let's take a look at the Kospi. And there is the Kospi, and you can see that same situation right there. You know, it's been in the sell for a bunch of days. What do we got? 4 days. It's come down from the 2,483, and now we're trading at 2,000. What was that? 2,389. How much did it come down? It came down to like 130 points. We're feeling a little pressure there. Again, this has been in a weekly sell for like 6-7 weeks. They must have read that political action internally, because this thing has been in a sell throughout the whole, I don't know what you call it, police action, coup d'etat / martial law. I don't know. You call it what you want to call it. To me, it's just chaos. And then from there, we'll shoot over to the Singapore Straits Times, see what they're doing there. Singapore Straits Times, right there. The true capitalists of the Pacific. That thing doesn't really care too much about being weak. You see 5 weeks in a buy, and we're flirting with the sell. And you can see we're 4 days in a daily sell. Now we're heading into the weekly sell. So maybe it's tax selling. End of the year. You know, it's always that magic that occurs when you have to pay taxes. And you know how much we feel about taxes. It's just robbery. You know, people being money taken out of their pockets by the government. And I'm not exactly sure if the government's giving anything to you for it. That's the bigger question. From there, we're going to slide towards Europe. Let's take a look at the Milan index, their active exchange there. Let's see, where is it? The MIB. We'll find it in a second. MIB. There it is right there, the FTSE MIB out of Milan. You see that same situation. That's been in a daily sell for 5 full days now, and it has fallen from 35,000. It's trading this morning at 33,000. Well, no, yeah, 33,266. And we're into that weekly sell right there by the hair of its chinny chin chin. From there, we'll go to the DAX in Frankfurt. There is the DAX. Let's see, right there. There's the DAX. The DAX has been also in a sell for 5 days. You see the pressure there. And it's still 4 weeks in a weekly buy from that great move up. And it's still not taking out, you know, the lows of that great move up. But it's moving down. There's no doubt about it. They're taking profits. Profits are being taken. Money is being, locked in for the wins. And I'm sure they're locking in the losses. From there, we'll go to... Let's take a look at the CAC 40 in Paris. Right there. You see it's been in a buy for the last 4 days. It climbed the first of those, 2, and now it's backing off, but it's in a weekly buy. So that one's definitely, we're losing some do-re-mi on that one. Definitely losing do-re-mi, taking a little of the profits from this win right there. So from there, we'll go look at FTSE, and the FTSE seems to be feeling that same pain. You would think that they'll be even stronger, though, due to the fact that once they figure out this political stuff. I mean, I think this strength here was, oh, goodness gracious, we're going to have new elections and get rid of these. Labor has really killed itself in 4 months. I mean, the whole country wants labor to be gone. That is amazing. It's so rare to see things like that happen in front of people's eyes. But people have come out, and Labor's dancing. They're trying to hold on to power at least until May of next year. We'll see if they get around that. They've passed some legislation to try to delay the elections in May. And we'll see how well that goes. I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think they're going to be successful all the way there, but they're going to have problems, that's for sure. And you can see that weekly sell is really screaming right there. We're seeing that, FTSE make a good, strong break down. And then let's take a look at, I'm trying to think of Brussels, that's it. Go to the heart of the European Union, go to the capital, I guess you could say. And there is Brussels. And you can see right there, it's just been sideways, almost like it doesn't matter too much to them. You see it's breaking into that weekly sell again, too. That's another one that was putting that pressure on it. And again, we're at the end of the year, so it's awful hard to take too serious. All right, traders, what do we got here? This is, I guess we must have some economic news coming out this morning. We'll see. And we have, this is the triple expiration today, so we're going to be seeing some real action kicking out over the next, hour and a half. We'll see the index futures expire on the opening, the futures will, and the options on those futures. And then we will have equity options expiring in the afternoon. And I believe there'll be December options for the March. Can they do that? I guess they can. Can they have December options on the March futures? Yeah, of course they can. So that will be expiring this evening. So everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We'll catch you all on Monday. And then next week will be fun because it's going to be like a very holiday-ish twisting and turning. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, traders. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a safe and smart weekend. Ta-ta for now.